MLB The Show tips: are all outfield positions weighted the same as far as their overall? The answer is no. Cespedes an 89 center fielder, but a 95 left fielder. And what if we took a guy like Mike Trout, who is already at 99, but then made every attribute a 99? Should his overall stay only a 99? We're going to get into that, and I'm going to explain to you guys why every outfield position is weighted differently, starting with Cespedes at an 89 overall. You move him to right field, he becomes a 94, and you move him to left field, he becomes a 95. I'm not touching any attributes, this is just a fact in MLB The Show 16. Now, if you watch my video on the 3 shortstops that have overalls above 100, you saw how I zeroed out 2 different categories, one for hitting and the rest for all the other attributes from durability, fielding, and speed. And that's what I did here again. So if you look at Cespedes, his hitting attributes only, he's a 44 overall in center field. Now let's move him to right field and then left field. So we'll just edit his player and adjust it, and you'll go look for him in the Mets lineup here. And there he is, a 54 overall in right field. So he jumps up a +10 just by moving those hitting attributes into a right field position. How about left field? Wow, he's even higher up there. He's a 61. So he jumps from a 44 hitting, 54 hitting to a 61 hitting. And the same is true about his fielding. He's a 44 center fielder if you just look at those speed and hitting and durability attributes. But when you move him out of center field into right field, he's only a 40. He starts going down. So that tells you center field just weights the fielding and speed a lot more than the corner outfield positions. And the same is true about left field. He's only a 34 there. So you can kind of see that left and right field really weigh the hitting attributes far higher than the center fielder. And so Cespedes really profiles more as a corner outfielder. In fact, he's a 94-95 diamond if you think about Diamond Dynasty ratings. But I want to go deeper than that. I'm going to take Mike Trout, zero out everything, including potential. He starts off at a 1 overall. Let's crank up potential to 99, give him that A potential. He's still a 1 overall, so potential doesn't do anything for that overall. So let's move over to contact versus righties. Let's max out that, leave everything else 0. How many overall points does he get? 14. Contact versus righties when you max it out to a 99. How about in right field? Okay, 14 again. So center and right, same amount of points for that right. Oh, but left field goes up +2. So this is exactly what we saw with Cespedes. It's going up. And I've got these graphics here to really simplify it to show you that center and right only give you 14, left gives you 16. When you max out contact versus lefties, though, you get rewarded less. And you can see in center field, it only gives you 9 points, even with a 99. In right field, only 9 points again towards your overall. How about in left? It goes up +2 to 11 overall. So you see that contact versus righties is much more valuable in the show 16 towards those overall ratings than contact versus lefties. And once again, left field rewards the most. Power versus righties should follow the same trend when we max that out. And looking at center field, it rewards 13 points to the overall when you max it out. A 99 power versus righties for a right fielder, 18 points. So it's a +5. And look at this, left field gives you 22 points towards that overall. So a left fielder really wants power versus righties. Look at that difference, a +9 from center to left. Now this is interesting. I'm going to stop here. And you're probably wondering, well, how can I use this information? Well, if you look for guys that have power versus righties and then you boil it down to center fielders, you may be able to find some diamonds in the rough. And there you go. There's Trout, which we know about, not a diamond in the rough. We all know about this diamond. Cespedes, though, like we showed you, is a diamond in the corner outfield. So what other center fielder kind of profiles better as a left or right fielder? Jock Peterson has 80 power versus righties, but he's a center fielder. He's stuck there. What if we moved him out of center field and we moved him into the right or left field position? So once again, just like Cespedes, let's move him out into right field and he becomes a 79. He gets a +4 boost into right field, and I'll bet you it's more in left field, so let's move him. And in left field, he goes from a 75 center fielder to an 80 overall left fielder. He goes up +5 overall, didn't touch a thing. All right, let's get back to it. Power versus lefties now. Let's go up to 99 there. And again, power versus lefties does not reward as much as power versus righties. 8 at center field, 12 at right field, and I'm going to bet it's a little higher in left field, a 14. So you go from an 8 to a 14. That's your range there towards an overall. 8, 12, and 14. So far less than the power versus righties, but still heavier weighted in the corner outfielders. Now we go to plate vision. Anyone's guess is what this is going to do. So we get 4 in center field for plate vision, We go to right field, it's a 6. And then in left field, we see it's also a 6. So interestingly, plate vision kind of low towards the overall. Not as important, but I think it helps you more in user gameplay and stuff when you're controlling the guy. All right, let's go over to plate discipline, which this is about checking your swing, right? So plate discipline, 4 overall in center field. Let's see if it changes in right. It does. It goes up also to 6, and I'm guessing left field is very similar as well. Yes, it is. 6 overall. Also in left field for plate discipline, so you'll see it's a 4-6-6. Again, so vision, discipline, not a huge part of the players overall. All right, next category, batting clutch. This is with runners in scoring position. You get extra hitting boosts, and you get a 3 overall towards the center field position for Trout. 99 clutch gives you also a 3 in right field. Any difference in left field? No, it stays the same. So clutch does not care what position in outfield you play. And there it is, 3s across the board. All right, going to bunting and then drag bunting. These should be rather low if you ask me. So we'll see if there's any difference. A 2 in center field for just bunting. We go to the corner outfield. Look at that, it drops down to 1. So it's more important to have a good bunter in center field than in right or left field, which you only get 1 overall point towards the player's full overall. So 2-1-1. Like I said, we're diving deep here. We're going to even take a look at drag bunting. I'm really curious how many drag bunting points go towards an overall. When you max it out, there's 1 in center fielder. I got to believe it's just 1 in right and left. Yep, right field is also 1. So not a whole lot of impact towards an overall. So really, after you get past the power and contact, vision, discipline, clutch, and the bunt ratings, only have a very minimal impact on the player's overall. All right, we look at durability. Also, I'm wondering if this has any large impact, and we got a 3 in center fielder. So for center field, Mike Trout, he's only a 3 overall points there. Right field, the same. And in left field, I'm also going to guess it's a 3-point difference. There you go. So it's 3 points. That's all it's going to add to any player's overall. All right, we keep going. There's your durability stats, 3, 3, and 3. Moving over to the fielding, this is where I think it's going to big time change. So in center fielder, where I think it does matter the most, 99 fielding gives you a 9 overall. As a center fielder, only a 7 in right field, which I thought still valued pretty good fielding. And it goes down to a 6 in left field, which is the most forgiving position for any defense, a 9-7-6. So how can we use that to our advantage? Well, because there's a big disparity, let's take a look at guys who have high fielding, but maybe that are stuck in one of the corner outfield positions. So let's take a look here. In left field first, we have Starling Marte. Here's an interesting one. 87 fielding, even though he's in left field. So he doesn't get a lot towards his overall, and neither does Christian Yelich, 90 fielding. So left field just does not reward these guys much. Alex Gordon has an 89 fielding, and then Coco Crisp an 86, and he used to play center field. So let's move one of these guys, starting with Christian Yelich, out of left field and into maybe center field. Since they have such high fielding, maybe their rating will go up. Well, Yelich actually stays at an 84. He doesn't change, but that just tells me he's overall a really good, strong player, where he doesn't have a lot of deficiencies in the defense, the speed, or the contact and power. And you see in right field, he's also an 84. So he profiles as a great overall outfielder at any position. And going back to the left field, you see there is an 84. And I'm wondering if Starling Marte isn't like the opposite of Cespedes, where that fielding at 87 would actually boost his overall if you put him into center field instead of a corner. And look at that, he's an 89 overall in center field, a +1. So there's a diamond in the rough. I know it's just 1 point overall, but there's a good example. If you can spot some of these trends, you may be able to find a good player. Our next category is arm strength. Let's max it out. In center fielder, Mike Trout with a 99 gets 8 points towards his overall. In right field, he gets 9 points, so you need to make that throw from right field to third base. And then in left field, doesn't really need as much, 7 overall points. And just in real life, you really want a cannon out there in the corner in right field to make that throw to third. But what if you don't? Let's find guys who have low arm strength, but maybe are getting penalized as a result of being a right fielder in the show 16. And there's one guy that comes to mind, and that's Boston right fielder Mookie Betts, who only has a 54 arm strength in this game, even though he's a 90 overall. I really want to check out him and see if we moved Mookie into left field, what would his overall become? So let's move him left field. and he becomes a 93 overall. So he goes to Diamond status in Diamond Dynasty, and that's a +3 difference from right to left without changing a single attribute. That's impressive, and that's worth noting the kind of quality of player you have there. How about arm accuracy? We saw strength had a big difference between all 3 outfield positions. You get 8 in center field if you max it out, and then in right field you get 9. So once again, it's following that trend. Right fielders need to have good arms, and in left, only a 7. So once again, our graphic will wrap it up. Looks very similar, 8, 9, and 7. And so you could find guys with low arm accuracy as well in right field and say, hey, they're actually better than they should be. How about reaction? Looking at the other fielding attribute here, 99 there. So a 9 overall points in center field. This is very important for center. Not as important in right field at only 7 points, and less at 6 points in left field. All right, so arm accuracy is 9, 7, and 6. Moving over to speed, and speed is a big part of any player's game, especially in the outfield. Mike Trout in center fielder with a 99 speed gets 11 overall points. In right field though, only 8 points towards his overall, and in left field you don't have to cover as much ground, it's also only 8 points. So the corner outfield spots just don't need fast players. Now once again, this could be an opportunity to find some players that are speedy but in one of the corner outfield positions, so look at those. All right, let's go to stealing. 99 stealing, what does that do? You get 5 points towards your overall in center field, only 3 in right field, and left field, let's see what that does. Only a 3 overall as well, so you get 5, 3, and 3. So speed and stealing are much heavier weighted in center field than the corner outfield positions. When it comes to base running aggressiveness, does it impact the overall? It's a hard question to answer because as you see, we've maxed it out. You only get 1 point in center field, you get 1 point in right field, and also in left. But we saw when we zero out every category at the very beginning, Mike Trout was already a 1 overall. So it's hard to tell if base running aggressiveness even plays into it. But we'll just put 1s across the board for now. So what does that have to do if you have a 99 overall Mike Trout in center, right, or left? Is that truly his overall? And is that the max true overall? And I think it's somewhere between 100 and these. In center, 112, in right, 117, and in left, 121. But there are 2 disclaimers I want to tell you about. First of all, there could be decimals somewhere in the back end, and those numbers are rounding up to the next whole number. The second thing is Mike Trout was a 1 overall when we had nothing in there for attributes, so I don't know if these are accurate because I was basing it off of a 0 overall. So you may have to knock it down a little less. Maybe it's closer between 99 and 110 for some of these. MLB The Show tips, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think and subscribe for more all season long.